And I had to smile when I was broken. I was broken. I had a man that was having sex with me and it was hurting. It was awful. I hurt bad and I'm crying. Saying, God, won't he stop because he hurt me.
Talking about him?
Yes. Intercourse it was like he was jabbing just to hurt me. And I've been through so much hurt. And I trusted the church. I trusted my family. I trusted people. And it was just like, I'm done. And here's somebody that said he loved me. And you hurt me.
You think he was being forceful with
Yeah, it was.
With,
yes.
You.
If I should say it felt like I was being raped. And mentally and physically, I was. He'd get up and go in the living room, watch TV. Would never come back in that room. God.
Did he know you didn't like how he was?
Yes. And I sat there quiet and took it.
So that was rape.
And so after that, that's why I tell people, you have the power to change things. It didn't make me a bitter person. It didn't make me go out there and just hate it. I don't know. God just graced me with that. God graced me to forgive people. God graced me with that. I know he gave it to me because he kept me through a lot of stuff that I should have lost my mind. I shouldn't even be here today talking today. And that's the price I had to pay. I paid that price. So that's why I'm hard on when people come against me and say, my character. I've seen people in ministry. I had men in ministry that actually called me on the phone, jacking off. Saying, I want you to be my wife. Or I'll pay you if you come to my church and preach. I'll put the money in your hand. I've seen what I have had the last month, and I'm giving. I don't help people change their ministry. I don't went in and reconstructed helping people with their ministry. And these same people came to crush. I'm talking, it was so bad that they were witchcraft. God told me, he said, this is being worked
against you.
In the midst of all of that, the same friend that I had, she was beaten by her husband. She walked to my house. I put some Calgon lotion, put Calgon in the tub, little candle. She was bruised. I saw the bruises. This is the first church that me and my ex-husband was going to church together. He beat her. She came to the house. I took her in the tub, took her clothes, she was crying. The husband tried to come over to the house. Talked to her. I said, get away from my door. Because this time I will fight a ninja. Know what I want to say. And at that time, she came in there and wept, bruises. And I said, God, I don't understand why the pastor not here trying to fix this. He came over to the house. I said, get away from my door. I called the police, whatever she did, and it caused this right here for you to beat her. That's my wife. He yelling. So the ex-husband went to do. He said, man, you gonna have to leave. That was his God brother. So Dad beat her. The pastor was saying she wrong. Tonya's wrong for housing. Basically, I was wrong for housing her there. And I was like, but she's getting whooped.
She's being abused.
Yeah. So I let her stay at the house. I'm going back 53rd now, y'all, because it's coming to me to tell that too. And I was in my bedroom, laying down. And I was awakened. I said, get up. And I sat up in the bed. I saw my husband come in with just his underwears on. She was sleeping in the living room. And when I sat up, I said, why are you out with your underwears on? He thought I was asleep. Girl, what you talking about? I said, you know, yes, and why would you walk around in your underwear? Girl, go back to sleep. I said, oh God. I said, no, come on now. said, you sleep. So my baby got up and she said, Mama, Daddy was in my room with his underwears on. That was confirmation. When I woke up, the underwear. I said, what? So I called the other friend because her and I, all three of us were tight. And I asked her, I said, did you sleep with him? She said, no, I wouldn't do you like that. So my friend, she said, no, we can call Pastor so-and-so. One of the ministers said, get that girl out your house. Get her out your house. I'm helping her out, giving her my clothes to wear, shoes to wear, all that stuff. And I asked her again, I said, did you sleep with him? And I said, girl, you crazy, you crazy, you crazy. I was always crazy. And I said, did you sleep? I'm going to ask you again. Did you sleep with Tonya's husband? No, I didn't. But I knew she did. To this day, she still would say, but I don't talk, And I was like, okay, God. Here go another slap. And yet I got to smile, forgive, and keep it pushing. People don't know this. So after that was done, get back to the new house. Now we moving into, he done found this new house, he got a new job. And now I'm working at the hospital now. So everything look like it's golden. It's gonna get better. I had a car. And y'all, this is one time I wanted to literally commit. I said, God, I'm tired. I said, I'm tired. I gotta fight here, fight there, do this, do that. I'm tired. I was in a service. And everybody was shouting. And I heard the enemy say, go. It's clear as day. It was the devil himself. He said, go. Go kill yourself. Wow. Everybody in church shouting and praising God and everything. I got in that car and I drove from Georgetown. And I remember speeding, pressing on the gas hard. And when I got down there between CVS and Memorial, they said, if you take your life, who's going to take care of those kids for you? Who's going to love your kids like you do? Your mama not going to love them like you do. Your sister, your family, nobody is going to love them like you do. I started crying. But that enemy was still coming strong. He said, kill yourself. And I was right. And only thing that would come out my stomach was out my belly. I said, I shall live and not die to declare the works of the Lord. I shall live and not die. I said, I shall live and not die. And I kept going. And when I got to the house, there's a big old tree. He said, slam on the brakes. And ran into the car. And I stood there fighting, trying to get my feet, just not to press the gas. And I began to scream. I said, God, you got to help me. I went in the house. I sat on my bed and I rocked. And I said, all I want you to do is just hold me, because at this time I couldn't talk to nobody. Family thought I was crazy. Nobody wanted to talk to me. Mama thought I was in a cult. Mama thought like crazy. This man telling me that basically I couldn't go see my mom, my dad. He wanted me to stay on his family side and all that. And I shut down my family side and just stayed there. And I was just, this wasn't right. And I went in my bedroom and I sat there and I said, God, just hold me. I just want you to hold me. That's it. I just want you to hold me. And I felt something that felt like somebody took their arms and put it around me. And it was like something went through my body like a peppermint pet. You know how you eat like a peppermint and you blow and it's cold?
It's like minty.
Minty, yeah. That's how that feeling, that covered me. And I went into a deep sleep and I laid down and my tears were dried up. When I woke up, I felt like a feather. And I felt so good. And that let me know I was still had my arms around. Still not understanding I love God, but why? What's going on? So then after that, we got in that house, started working out this stuff, and next thing you know, he was in the shower. We never like hid our phones.
Mm-hmm.
You could pick my phone up, whatever. Pick my phone. I picked up the phone. Hello? Click. That's all. They had the wrong number. Picked up the phone again. Hello? Click. Third time, same thing. Click. So I said, hey. So then they called back. I said, listen here. I said, stop calling. I said, he in the shower. I'll make sure he call you when he get out. And then when I looked at it.
Did you know what was?
He had his sister name in the phone.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't his sister. It was the lady or woman he was messing with. And I kept seeing that. But I would ignore it when I heard it. When I picked it up, I kept saying, nah, he ain't messing around. He ain't doing that. I never confronted him.
Mm-hmm.
But that time when he kept hanging up, I said, well, listen, tell whoever this is that's calling you, quit hanging the phone up in my face. Oh, girl, ain't nobody calling me. You crazy. And I said, God, I know I'm not crazy. God will never allow me to see anything. And then one time I looked out the window, I was off, and they thought there was no car in the yard. I looked out my window, there was a black car that pulled up at my house, and it just sat there. And when I opened the curtains and looked, they drove off. So one day my kids had a PTA or PTO meeting, and I had to go to it. So my house was right across the street from their school, so I can stand at the door and watch them go right in the gate.
Mm-hmm.
So this particular night, I go, and I tell the man who I was. He said, "Oh, your husband is such and such." Oh, that's Mr. Castanova. All the women like him. Oh, all the women. And I said, I'm like, please. And he said, you're his wife. I said, yes. He said, well, come on in. You can go through the gate. But yeah, that's Mr. Casanova. Oh, we go to school. And the man just started telling me. And I'm like, what? Caucasian man, not a black man.
Mm-hmm.
I said, what? So when we got done, I came home. I said, oh, so you Mr. Casanova now. That's what we doing now. Girl, be quiet. Ain't nobody talking about that. Ain't nobody such and such. Who told you that?
So basically, anytime you would say anything or confirm something that he was doing, he would gaslight you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And try to make it seem like you're losing your mind, and he's the only one that's sane.
Yes. And when I tell you, I was just like, ah. So we moved and all that stuff. And one of the ministers at his church would act real nasty towards me, and my mom saw it.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom said, he's talking about you to that man. And I said, oh, wow. So all this to say, after that was done and got there, and then he left. We were doing practicing for the play, and I told everybody they had to be gone before he came, because I didn't have an exact building for us to go into to have rehearsals. So I said, well, we'll do the rehearsals, which I took it through him first to get the okay, and we'll be out of, well, we were just getting up and everybody was leaving out. He came in the house, he didn't speak to nobody. So my sister looked at me, and my coworker, she was like, girl, I see. And my sister said, now look here, Tonya, I ain't yet saved. I'll cuss him out.
The Tasha.
And she said that, so everybody left. We get outside, and I'm talking to my coworker. She already know how he is. And he said, oh, he comes outside. I need to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
Tonya. And I said, oh my God. I said, I'll be there in a minute. So I'm talking to her. He stands at the door now, and his face is like red. Tonya. And she said, girl, I'll talk to you tomorrow. I said, okay. I go, and I said, well, what is it? Walk with Tom. let me tell you, and I said, because at this point he's like this in my face. I said, step back. Called his name. I said, please step back. Please don't get in my face like that. And as he talking, spit coming out of his mouth. And I asked him again. Now he's like this. So I swung at him. And I swung at him again. And I swung at him again and he fell back. By this time, I don't saw red. So he was like, don't you hit me. And I did this in front of my kids. That's what hurt the most. And I told myself, and I shoved him out the door and I slammed my door and locked it. And I remember, I don't know if one of them was crying or one of them was laughing. So I got on the phone and I called my mom. I called one of the apostles that I know from, I think she was at Albany. And I was crying on the phone and I said, and she said, no, baby, you were provoked.
Yeah.
And I never thought that it would go to that. That's the only time I ever put my hands on him because I told him get back. And you spitting. And then you on my face like this.
Yeah.
So now you done went and told the church some more different other stuff. Then you brought your mom to the house. I wouldn't answer the door.
He seemed like he had a lot of people that was enabling him around him, from the mama to the people at the church. And how is it that they're able to just accept what he's saying and they never once asked you your side of the story?
I never was able to tell what really happened. So the mom came to the house and she was knocking at the door. But I was in another room, in the bathroom, where I lost that baby and flushed, with that miscarriage. I'm in that bathroom. I would never use that side of the house bathroom because that's where that trauma went at with that. So I had to go in that room just to shut out all the noise. And I called my mom and I said, these were my words. I said, she don't get away from this door, I'm going to hit her too. And my mama started laughing a little bit and she said, Tonya, don't touch her. I said, I'm not. I said, but I'm tired. I said, I'm tired. Y'all don't know. It's just I'm tired. So he moved or whatever. So now I done paid the rent for this house. Now this house was going in foreclosure because we were renting it. But the couple that owned the house, they were getting a divorce. So he was trying to hurry up and sell the house before the wife knew or whatever that situation was. So now I'm saying, okay, God, this man gone. Now I got to find somewhere. Here we go with this homeless thing again. So I'm asleep. And this is the time, y'all. Now this was the time. I never ever wanted anything like a gift basket. I'm at work. There's no food in the house. None. At this point, I was swiping my badge to feed my kids. My work badge. And this particular day, I wanted this big old basket. They had fruit, all that stuff. I had no money. My kids ate off that basket. I went to bed hungry. My mom came over on a Sunday. This was on a Saturday. Desiree done killed the basket. My mom came over. She's like, oh, we just stopped by. But I brought some KFC. All kind of food. I'm in the midst of trying to move out this house now. So my mom was like, oh, we came by. Can I change clothes over here? So they changed clothes. My dad was there. My niece was over there. She changed clothes and we ate. They ate. And then they went on. And they did that. And my friend Green, he said, Tonya, get my truck. No, I'm sorry. Let me cut her back. I was worked. He came, the ex-husband, pulled in a truck while I was in the bed asleep. And had his dad with him and his nephew. Because you ain't going to tell nobody I didn't help you move. And pack my house up. Packed everything up. Mind you, God had said, start looking for you a place. I'm thinking, man, this man's still going to get back together. So I was like, well, his car running hot. So I'll help him buy a car. to get him so he can go back and forth from Hinesville to Savannah. Asked me why I was thinking they're still trying to keep this marriage that was already prophesied that wasn't going to be, but still saying, until God says so, I'm going to keep pushing. As much as I'm hurting, I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to make this thing, it's going to work, it's going to work. He packed the stuff, took it to Hinesville, and told my kids to say, I want to talk to y'all. Y'all ain't the problem. And I said, stop right there. I said, you will not do this. You will not do this. I said, whatever you saying, I'll talk to them. But what you're dishing out, you will not put that in my kids' ear. This is not your fault. So he put the beds in, put the washing machine in. But I still had a lot of stuff at the old house. Mm-hmm. My friend, my best friend, my co-worker at the time, it's time to get my truck. Me and his wife was good friends. So she trusted me. Mm-hmm. And he said, get my truck and you move the rest of your stuff. He didn't charge me a dime. He saw what I went through. That Mr. Green saw what Tonya went through. He saw it. He saw it. And so he said, you're going to be all right. You're going to be all right. And I always say, you strong. Always encourage me. So Jesus. Now, we living in Hinesville. Mm-hmm. I ain't going to Hinesville. I get divorce papers. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't I got a car. I got a phone call said, Tonya, that man got your car on 4 wheels. He's scared. You know what I said? He trying to tear up your car. I said, come on. What's next? What's next?
Yeah, so it wasn't enough that y'all are divorcing. He wanted to ruin the car too.
When I moved to God, I had a lot of cars repo. Jesus, good God Almighty. So I ended up getting a nice car, a truck. Mm-hmm. And I got my kids, everything we settled in down there. God blessed me with a 3-bedroom mm-hmm. garage, mm-hmm. paying $625. And I was doing it by myself. Mm-hmm. So now it's a nice house. My kids be good. Mm-hmm. Good. Now, God ain't never left, but God was sitting still, watching me persevere, still trusting him, still saying, I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what's going on, but still prophesying, still telling people about the goodness of God, still telling people, hold on, keep your marriage together. Do this. Don't jump out. Talk. I'm talking about to capacity. And their stuff working, but mine's falling apart. I said, God, people gonna ask, what kind of God you serving? Because your stuff ain't standing. I would have dreams, crazy dreams. And I would dream, and then I started dreaming and doing all this other stuff. So now I'm in a church in Lincoln, Georgia. I'm going there, I'm feeling good now. Everything good. Learning, love the man and woman of God. I say, okay, good. I'm playing it now. Mm-hmm. Oh, I ain't got to work. This is good. And I'm hungry. And I'm talking about that word, everything perfect. Get there, and now we in Hinesville. God doing his thing. God speaking, and he tells me, start right. I got tablets at home now. They're in my closet. I write down the date God says something, the time, the month, and the year. You say things and I write it down. I never stop writing them. Never stop writing. And I did that. I dreamed about an accident. Mm-hmm. I saw flashing lights, blue lights in this dream. And I said, I was in a car accident. 6 months ahead. Mm-hmm. We come back now, I'm in a car accident. I got flipped over. The car flipped 4 times. And when it flipped, I was taking her niece back to Old Silver. That day, she said, she came to Savannah to live with me. And she had stayed out all night. And I told her, I said, listen, you're my responsibility. If something happens to you, your mama coming for me. Because you supposed to be staying with me. So she was doing all of that, and I said, no. So that last straw was when she stayed out all night, went answer the phone, none of that. So when she finally came to the house, I said, you're going to have to pack your stuff. I'm going to physically take you back to your mom. I'm going to drive you back. I called my brother. My brother came, and he got Desiree and Tyree. Look how wonderful God is now. My brother got them. But my son, Tyree, came in the house. He said, Mama. So said she want to kill herself. I said, that's all right, because I'm going to take her to her mama. She won't do it on my watch. So I put her in the car. My brother put my kids in the car. We leave. We get to Richmond Hill. We going like this. And Dad's give me this look. Like this sad look. And I waved to her like that. And they went on. They were going to Valdosta. I was going to Osceola to drop that off. And then I was going to veer around and come back and pick Dad's up and pick my kids up and go on back to Savannah.
You think Dad's had an intuition that something was going to happen?
That look she gave me was like, she not going to, something. And I just looked at her waiting, and she waited, and she always used to suck her thumb. So when we got to the gas station, I stopped. And I said, let me fill up. I said, I think I got them something to eat, because it was my goddaughter. I think she was at the time 16, 17, and my niece. And I said, y'all got these bathroom things? And I kept saying this, put your seatbelts on. Put your seatbelt on. Air in the tire, check air in the tire thing, and I'm going. And I'm ministering to them. Telling them all things. And next thing you know, I'm driving. I don't know if that the road said Flamingo Road, but I was driving. And I'm on the speed limit. This car out of nowhere comes. Pow! Flipped over. Niece got the car. Goddaughter got the car. I was stuck in the car. This is the second car wreck. Second. Remember the first one I had going to church. The first got saved. Now this one here, I'm ministering to them. The car flips over. Pow!
And it seemed like the enemy was trying to get you and take you out.
And I was so he trying to kill me. I'm upside down in the car. All four tires are up.
So you stuck.
I'm stuck. This is what I said. I said, God, please let this car flip back over. I'm scared. Let this car flip. And the car flipped back up and it bounced. And it stopped. And people were trying to say, oh my God, that person in that car dead. My goddaughter and my niece was running up the road. Stopped, all kind of state patrols, all that. Came. And I said, get me out this car. I said, get me out this car. I said, it's smoking. I saw the smoke. I said, get me out this car. I tried to lift my body up and couldn't get it. I was messed up all down here. I couldn't even pull the weight. They had to pull me out the window. And thank God for wigs. Because I had a half a wig on. And they put me on the ground. Ambulance took me to them. They had to do an MRI on me. Those people said, oh, she's fine. I said I was fine. All that stuff. But they said, but you're going to eat tomorrow. And they gave me ibuprofen. But as I was driving, I'm at the hospital. You got the state patrol and all them there. So they coming in asking what happened. There was a white guy that saw everything. And he was driving behind me. He said she was driving the speed limit. He said, because I caught up with her. And he said, I had nightmare. He said, the car drove up. And he said, I was behind her. He said, she was driving the speed limit. He said, that car came out and it hit her. Do you know I found out later that the guy that told the police all this stuff was a state attorney? He was a district attorney.
Wow.
He was either a state, don't quote me on it, I think he was a state, but he was an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
And he saw everything.
Jesus.
And he reported everything. So after I got hurt, they said, you got to get your things out the car. Everybody thought the person in the car was dead. So when I got out, I had to call my goddaughter's mother to meet me in Osceola to get us so she could take us back to Savannah. They said, well, y'all got to go get your stuff. She drove us and we went to go see the stuff. Y'all, the whole car was smashed in. The windows were busted out. And I just started, when I walked up there, the man that owned the record place, where they take the damaged vehicles at, he said, oh my God. He said, we thought the person that was in this car died. His wife's voice, they were a white couple, and her voice was trembling. She said, because I knew the person had died. And you see me walking up there trying to, dragging it. I said, it's me, this is my stuff. So the only little stuff I had, they packed it up and I went back to Savannah. Check this out. They gave me the ibuprofen. The MRI, they said, didn't read anything. And my hands, probably like the second day, I couldn't move my body. So I went to the emergency room. And the guy said, oh, you're doing fine. We're just going to give you something a little stronger. And we're going to send you on home. In 3 days, you'll be back to return back to work. Mm-hmm. I had a rental, all that stuff. So the third day, my hands were swelled like a sausage. I heard the Holy Ghost say, go to the hospital now. So by this time, it's me and Tyree. I can't remember where Dez was. I think she was either still with my brother somewhere. So me and Tyree went. So I drove myself at a rental. Matter of fact, I'm sorry. I went to Valdosta after the accident and picked up my keys a couple days later. Came back and that's when I laid down and the Holy Ghost said, go to the hospital now. Tyree was with me. I went. All of a sudden, I see these people rushing in the room. They did an MRI. Mm-hmm. Because the MRI that was in the Osceola didn't work. It didn't show up the stuff. Mm-hmm.
They started scrapping the MRI?
Ooh, yes. They scrapped me up on this flat bed. They said, you can't move. And said, if you would have came back to work and you would have tussled with somebody, you would have been paralyzed from the neck on down. And he said, we got to have emergency surgery. Mm-hmm. You see it?
Yes.
I don't know if they can see it.
I'm going to zoom in so they can see it.
Okay.
Wow.
I have a rod that's sitting in my neck like this. And before I went to surgery, they had me up on the second floor. And that's when I tell you, they took good care of me. Mind you, I was working there too. Mm-hmm. So the young lady that was singing about me, and I call her like a spiritual mom to me. She lived in Florida. Mm-hmm. And she called and checked on me. Mind you, my family still wasn't coming around.
Were they upset?
It was still that separation thing with me being saved and Tonya just over the top.
Okay.
With the saved thing.
Okay.
They didn't understand.
Mm-hmm.
So, when surgery was about to happen, I'm ministering to a lady and her husband. And so my spiritual mom on the phone, and I said, if anything happened to me, call her. She was in Orlando, Florida, calling back and forth, and they telling her what's going on with me. And she said, Tonya, she said, do you realize you finna go under the knife?
And you ministering.
And you still ministering. So they put me to sleep. I came out. My pastor was there. Bishop Julian Jones. I'm going to call his name. And when he came up, they had me up on the floor. And he said, where is your family? He said, I went in the, when they put you in the, like the room where you have visitors or whatever in that visiting area. And when you come out of surgery, that's when your family members and all that. He said, wasn't nobody down there. Mind you,
and they knew that about the surgery.
Mm-hmm. My mom had hung up the phone in my face. So I'm crying. Now I'm dealing with all these issues. Still not feeling safe with nobody. But I'm still yet saying, God, do it. And I'm still yet praying for everybody. And I start tears rolling down my face when he said that. I couldn't talk. But tears is flowing. So my real father came. My real dad came. He brought my aunt. My aunt stayed with me. But before she came, my dad was up there. He don't like hospitals, but came, took care of kids, made sure they ate. When I got out of the hospital, he brought my aunt down. And she lived with me. She took care of them and everything. But here we go. They got me on morphine, oxycodone, hydrocodone, the morphine, all that. And I was laying in the house. She was taking my medicine and giving it to me. Taking my medicine, giving it to me. So she was getting high off my medicine, giving it to me.
So she was giving you some, but getting high off some of the other one.
Yes. So one day she invited her daughter-in-law to the house. I ain't never met this lady before. But I had to trust my aunt. She was good to me now. She put the bell on the desk. I mean, whenever you want me, just come and ring the bell. Ring the bell, she come like, oh, it's time for you to take your medicine. Take medicine. So she brought her daughter-in-law down. I was able to get up and walk slow to the front room because she would make me get up and come. Like, you got to get up and come around, but she was good. Move around. So the lady seen my pills on the table. And she started counting my pills. She said, well, how many are you taking a day? It was 150 or 180 pills in there. And I said, oh, it's such and such. And I was getting ready to go to the doctor to get the rest of the prescription. Let me tell y'all something. God even covered me through all that medicine. I could have been addicted and wasn't. So now I go to my doctor appointment and I'm sitting in there and he says this. I'm sorry, but we're going to have to go back in. That what they put on the back of my neck was too tight. So it was bothering the hand. And he said, we're going to have to go back in that same room. Mind you, this is 6 weeks. Now he's telling me at my first checkup, we're going to have to go back and flip you over and reopen that and go in there and unscrew it. I'm crying because I'm like, oh, I don't want no going back in my neck again. And then he said, after we do that, we're going to have to flip you over and cut you from the front. If you look, you can't even see it. But it's over here.
You can't see nothing.
I hear God say, now remember, take y'all back. He said, I saw an accident in the dream. Right after that, that was the accident that I foresaw. So they go in, recut me, flip me over, boom. Now I'm to the house recovering after the second surgery. The young lady I know at my church, she got my rental car. She told the spiritual mom in Orlando, I'm going to make sure she eat. Didn't eat. I'm coming. But she had my rental car.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Y'all, when I tell you, it's something else. So throughout that stage, I recovered, everything good. When the surgeons, and I heard God tell me specifically, I'm going to heal you. I had to wear a neck brace for almost, 6, 7, 8 months. I was still, my brother came, packed up that whole house, and moved me to Valdosta. I love you, Thomas King Jr. My brother took care of me. Took good care of me. He knows the marriage situation. He was there. My brother was there. So he don't have a liking of my ex at all, because he witnessed a lot of stuff. And he just looked, and when I say he took care of his sister, he took care of his sister. So I recovered and did all that stuff, and I'm still going to church, y'all. Still, and then I get a phone call in Valdosta. I get a phone call from one of the minister's wife, and she said, "Hey girl, I've been trying to find you." She went in my inbox, Facebook inbox, and she said, "I need to tell you something." She said, "I told my husband it's his side, the ex side, is Tonya's side, and it's the truth." And she began to tell everything concerning him. Everything.
It's helping put the pieces together.
Yes, because I was so like, and some things, I told her this. I said, I'm no longer married to that gentleman, so I could care less about his business. And here we in 2017, God showed me something concerning him and his wife, and I began to intercede for them.
He had got remarried.
Yeah, he got remarried. He had children. And God showed me something, and I was like, and I prayed, and I said, God, and I always said this, and this is the God heaven truth. I said, God, whoever he married, let him treat her better than what he did me. Let him love her better than what he did to me. So after all that was done, I'm at the hospital. I get another call from the same lady. And she said, "Oh, the grass ain't green on the other side." Oops. Like, what are you talking about? She began to just... I said, okay.
He told you everything he was doing.
Everything. And mind you, her husband didn't like me. So now I'm in Osceola, going to school, all this. My mom called me and tell me, I think the sister died. I got up, went outside. I said, okay, that hasn't, and I'm not being mean, you all, but at this point, it doesn't have anything to do with Tonya now.
You trying to cut ties
and to share a little bit about that, when we were getting the divorce, and we were in Liberty County, that's where I got the divorce from. And I see a woman come up with them, but this time God said, wear your uniform. And I thought, okay, God, wear my uniform? See, he said, wear your uniform. So I wore it. So when I got there, you know the guys that scan you when you go in? They said, no, you go on through. Okay. I get upstairs. 2 white elderly guys, they had their little blazers on. And they stand, at the court doors. And he said, what are you doing here today? I said, well, he looked at the divorce. He served me papers or whatever. And he said, well, who would want to divorce somebody like you?
Oh.
He said, who would want to divorce somebody like you? I said, well, I'm just giving what he wants. We sitting there. He's late. I'm already there. So then when he gets there, he's there with an attorney. I don't have one. So we got up there, and God said he was going to be there with me, and he was there every step of the way. I got up there. Him and his lawyer was with each other. I'm standing there. And they, all of a sudden, some kind of way, they got it to where I couldn't see the judge. The judge said, are you okay? I said, I can't see. He said, I'm going to need y'all to slide over so she can see me.
Yeah.
And then the judge said, he said what he said, and he said, is there anything that you would like? I said, no. Just let him come with what he had, and I can leave with what I got. And he said, okay. Everything was clear, whatever. I said, yes. He said, Ms. Wright, your papers will be ready at 12 o'clock today. You don't get no divorce papers that quick. And the divorce was final. I said, oh my God. I went and picked my mom up. But when I got in the car, I was saying, thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. And I heard God say, I gave you a way of escape, but you went back.
Ooh.
So you had to sit in it. But I tell you this, I learned a lot. See, when it was separated then, I went back to it, trying to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Try to put it back together. And God said, I had given you a way of escape. But you went back. So I had to allow you to sit in it. And it didn't feel good, y'all. Oh, it didn't feel good. And I started now saying, God, now I need to be healed. I didn't want to talk to no male, period. I didn't want no relationship with nobody. I just want to just be free. And so after that, I know I jumped around from the surgery, all of this, but it's just so much coming. So everything was done. The divorce was settled. He was going his own way. And he stopped talking to the kids. So going back to the sister died. But before the sister died, I forgot this. I'm holly jolly. I got, it's a thing that I used to do for our family. Everybody's birthdays in the month of June, July, and August. We did this big birthday bash thing for him. So I go trying to, coordinate his family. So I go to that sister house. I tell her, I said, I'm just coming by to tell you. I'm inviting y'all to come to the thing that we're doing Saturday. And I told them where it was at. Told her where it was going to be held at. This young lady told me, said, I want my brother to be happy. So I told him I'll pay for his divorce since he's miserable. She came out of nowhere and said this. And I'm looking like, huh? Do you know how embarrassed I was? When she said that, I said, did she not hear me say I'm inviting them to come? And she said, yeah, he's not happy. And I told my brother I'd rather see him happy.
But y'all were already divorced?
We weren't divorced yet. That's why I said I was go back.
Oh, okay.
And she said, I told him I'll pay for the divorce. And I said, well, I don't believe in keeping nobody that don't want to be kept. He don't know she told me this. He was doing this stuff behind the scenes, divorcing me. He was getting his credit right. He was doing all that stuff while I'm still paying half of the bills. But he was taking and getting his credit and all that stuff done. Getting his credit fixed, all that stuff. And she said, I told him, if you're not happy, I'll pay for it. Get at the courthouse, I see a woman with him. And they told us we were divorced and they dismissed us and we left out. And I'm looking. And she was like, hi. I said, oh my God. She came here. And she did that kind of number to me. But when I was in our house, when she was telling me this stuff, I was like, nah, she got to be clean. And she said, well, I want you to pray for me for a job.
His sister?
Yes. The same day she told me, I said, God, I said, I know I'm being punked. I said, I know I'm being punked. But guess what Tonya did?
You did it.
Pray for her job. Guess what?
And she got the job.
She got the job.
Oh my gosh.
Prayed right there with her. But yet, I was torn. I was bleeding inside. I was like, girl, you was crazy. Did all of that. She came to court. I seen her with him going out. I got in my car. I praised God so hard I was hoarse. I went to pick my mom up off of Bacon Road in Hinesville and said, come on, we're going out to eat. And she said, it's done. I said, it's fine. She said, you good? I said, I'm okay. And I had to go through that process of now he's out of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sad.
Yeah.
But it's all good. Had good days, had bad days. I was like, but this, that. I said, well, that was my husband. And God, what you gonna do? And I'm looking bad and I'm sitting up here telling people what you telling me to tell them. And then I'm still looking crazy out here in these streets. As far as telling people what God's saying, like, girl, you couldn't even keep a marriage together. So
does it make you feel like your gift is for them?
Yes. And there came a time, y'all, when I said, I'm not prophesying, I'm not telling nobody nothing. All I want to do is just help people, God, that's it. And I said, I'm tired. I'm tired of everybody. Then I got at that point in my life when now I don't set the gift down. I ain't want to prophesy. I ain't want to do none of that. I couldn't hear God's voice anymore. I couldn't hear him. Now people coming to me telling me, God said this, God said it. Now I'm on their word now. Then I got off track. Because I started letting people just come in and say anything. And believe in them. And it's silence like the voice of God for me. It's silent God. And I was going, well, they said this, that God was on this. It's like I became a believer all over again. Like, Tonya, what happened to you? Mm-hmm. That you can't hear God now. I listened to everybody. I had folks that was in witchcraft prophesying. But one thing about God, he always kept me in the midst of all that chaos and craziness. He still kept me. If I got into a ministry it was, because I always felt that God sent a man, but God yet is still the head. Mm-hmm. And I would not let a person come in and say, exalt me. Mm-hmm. I'm this, I'm that. I respect your position that you're in. Mm-hmm. But I got to make sure my foundation with God is laid. No matter what go through, I still got a foundation built with God. And when I couldn't hear, it was like his ears had silence. But I remember him telling me, I'm going to allow you to be among the false prophets. He said, I'm going to allow you to sit in the midst of them, but you won't do what they do. And then down to this day, I'm seeing that word come to pass. Because I've seen so many. I've seen so many that came in to know the Lord Jesus and they wasn't it. And came and then the voice of God started getting stronger now. Back in place now. I wouldn't even do cliques in church. I remember telling a person, I said, I don't get in cliques because if God tell me I have to come and tell you something, I'm going to have to obey God and do it.
I know that's
and it
right.
won't be because we friends that I can't tell you X, Y, Z. Mm-hmm. So a circle of friends I didn't have that. Mm-hmm. It's not that I didn't want it. Mm-hmm. I was like, this is crazy. Now we're getting up to the death of my mom. I saw my mom's death before he became. And he allowed me to go see my mama. He allowed us to rectify some things. And my mom ended up telling me, she said, you my favorite child. She asked me who they were. I named my sister. I named all of them. They know this story. And she said, no, it's you. I was in my bed with her. And she said, Tonya, talk. And I said, I just never think you loved me. You never cared for me. Because when I was pregnant, you didn't help me with my kids. And she said, Tonya, I did. I said, and it was all the while the enemy was having that covered, but she was there for me when I had these. She was there for me when Tyree came, and when I had Tyree. Mm-hmm. And I said, I think you didn't love me. You didn't love me. You didn't love me. She said, yes, I did. She said, you're my favorite child. She said, I remember praying for y'all, and God said, don't pray for that one because that one belonged to me. Oh, I wept. And she said, I want you to go forward in your ministry. She said, go forward. And that day, the last words I left, I was living in Osceola. I left Osceola, came and went and saw my mom. And a young lady went with me. Got receipts on that too. She prophesied to my mama and stuff. And I talked to my mom. The last words I told my mom was, I love you. And she called me on the phone. She said, you gone yet? She said, because you got to get back with those kids. I said, I'm about to go now. I said, but I'm in this Chinese restaurant. Oh, I wish you would have brought me an egg roll. I said, I'll bring it. She said, no, Tonya, don't bring it. And I took my mama some flowers. It was some yellow flowers, yellow roses. And when I saw my mama leaving, here years ago when I was married. And my ex-husband was sitting on the side of me. And I was sleeping. I was crying, saying, please don't take my mom. Please. I was crying, begging. And it was my cousin Sophia that said, you interceded and you cried and God saw it. So he extended her life.
Ooh.
I told my dad, I told my mom, I said, I see him as a deacon in a church. I said, he gonna be a deacon.
Your dad?
Mm-hmm. You know Thomas is a deacon in the church, right?
Is he?
Yes.
Wow.
And my mom said, Tonya said it. Tonya said it. And my mom started getting closer to God, and she would call me and she said, but somewhere, Tonya, you ain't like you used to be. That fire that was in you ain't there. Get back there. That's what she told me. And after that, my mom passed in 2012. But God had me ready. He said, I didn't allow you because I was trying to go down there to take care of her towards the end. She told me, she said, don't come. Stay down there with the kids, don't come. I said, God, why she want to let me come? So I called her on a Wednesday. I think she died on Thursday. I can't remember the exact date. But I called her that night to try to talk to her. My dad said, well, she's changing her, what you call it? Mm-hmm. And I said, well, tell her that I called. He said, all right. I got a phone call the next day. My brother called me and said, she gone. I said, who gone? You know, my mom, Bridget. He said, she gone. I said, what? I had my grandson, Tyler, in my hand. My neighbor, Erica, love you, Pooh. She saw it. She saw me, I was shaking. And she grabbed the baby. And I said, hold on. And I had to run to the school. My cycle came on, was running down my leg. Mm-hmm. But I had to get to the school to get my keys. Somebody had already told them. So my son was punching, they said he was punching a wall. My daughter thought it was my grandma begging. Mm-hmm. I said, no. They were screaming, no. And somebody got to it before I did. I was angry because I was like, let me tell them. Mm-hmm. And I found my auntie daughter. I said, I gotta go, my mom gone. She said, what you mean, Bridget's gone?
And Auntie Dolla's Auntie Bridget's sister.
No, that's her. That's my mom's Bridget. Mm-hmm. My mama, Betty. Mm-hmm. That's Dolla's Betty's sister. So that's my mom's auntie.
Oh, okay.
But her and my auntie Doll grew up together. They were like this. Mm-hmm. So when I got in the car and I was driving home, to come to Ironsville, I hear God say, give me praise through it all. I'm praising God. Everybody thought I was crazy. I praised God like I lost it. We got down there to the house. That's when everybody said, my Uncle Kenny, he said, God is leading you to lead us. So we made preparation. Got done, got to the church. God did what he did. The man that had my mama's body, he was back there crying while I was speaking. And what God said, babe, you spoke your mama, you preached your mama.
You did, because I was there.
They said, now you preached that thing.
And you did, somebody did the call to salvation or something.
I know, I got up there, they had me to speak, but those pastors came down, and I remember two of them told me, say, the light is on you so bright, young lady. Mm-hmm. Keep doing what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Keep doing. Yeah. So, all of that, and now we're here today. And I'm going to sum this thing up because I know I probably went on long. But I'm summing it up now. I stepped out of the church for a while. Mm-hmm. And I said, God, I'm tired of seeing what I'm seeing. I'm tired. I said, we doing everything but what you said. It's people, I said, I've never seen so many prophets in my life. I've never seen so many prophets now. And I told God, I said, God, whatever you do, because I stepped back and I said, I'm going to step back. I'm going to step back. Mm-hmm. And I said, it's a thing about if I'm not fully there and I'm here and there and everywhere, let me sit down. Sit down. Because one thing I'm not going to do is play with him. Not doing it. I've seen, and I'm going to say this, I had pastors that said, and I'm not going to give names, but I'm going to just give locations. 2 was in Macon. One wanted me to leave Savannah and said, I'll buy your house, I'll do this, and you come and you could work the ministry out of so-and-so, and was getting and said, and every time I would come to the church, because I was invited by an old friend of mine to come there, and I visit, took me in the office and talked to me. Anytime he took me to the office, my daughter, I said, come with me. And as I was sitting in his office, he shut the door. Or me and my daughter, and I said, no. I said, shouldn't we open the door? You don't want your good deeds to be evil spoken of. That's what I was saying. So he was like, no, you're fine. And he was like, I think you were working this ministry, and blah, blah, blah. And at one point, he was giving me gas money because I was driving from Savannah to there. And then it went from there to, and I was like, hold up. And as I was sitting there, God was showing me things. And I said, so I brought a best friend of mine, and I said, I need you to come with me because I want to know what you're getting. And she was like, okay, all right. So she was coming from Valdosta. I was coming from Savannah. We met up and we went. And then I saw some things, and I said, oh, my God. And he was like, prophetess, I see such and such on you, blah, blah, blah. I see 2 angels beside you. And by this time, God, he allowed me to use my gifts or whatever, but did that, and he was like, oh, you'd be a big help to the women ministry. And God said no. Then he started liking me. Then he was giving me, he gave me money. And I was like, oh, maybe this is just for me driving or whatever. So one day, he was talking to somebody, and his armor bearer came and did like this. And I was like, and I sucked the money back. And he got angry. You don't never send no money back when I give you money. It's like, that type of party, I ain't know that now. And so I'm big on telling people I love them. I'm big on that. I don't care who it is. You gonna always say, love you. I love you. And all of a sudden he was just like I felt like he was trying to put me with him, and I said no. And he asked me one day, he said, do you love me? I said no. I said, what you mean?
Yeah, not like that.
So it went to one thing, and then when I would call him, and he was like, hey, and he was calling me baby, and I was like, oh. So I seen this stuff being done. So then one night I was asleep, and he would text and say, hey, I'm not feeling good, pray for me, blah, blah, blah. And I prayed for him. And this man thought because he had these cars and stuff, I'm not winning by that. Money don't move me. God, no, it don't move me. I'm not like that. I can't be bought. I don't know about other people, but I can't be bought. This is one person that you can't buy me. I don't care who you are. Church is not like that for me.
Yeah.
I don't have to have the hype man who's the biggest, and that's so not beyond me. I even told, give me a street nigga.
Yeah. Because
I know at least he gonna keep it 100. Don't give me nobody that's wearing church shoes, because when it's time to fight, they gonna slide. And I just didn't want that. I wanted somebody. I've been there, done that. I saw the religious stuff and broken at home and
just living 2 different lives.
Yeah. And I'm like, no. So now I'm seeing this, and I was like, and one day I was in the bed, 3 o'clock. God said, get up and pray. And I sat up and I began to pray hard. And then he showed me the face and what it was doing.
Who was that face?
That
man?
And he said, cut ties.
What was he doing?
Because he showed me, it was like praying against. It was prayers and stuff being worked. No, and I said, don't ever call my phone. Don't talk to me, and I blocked.
Mm-hmm.
So years down the line, that goes on to met somebody else. And he was like a brother. And I was just like, you my brother, blah, blah, blah.
Is this?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And I said, no. I said, y'all, you like a brother. So I saw some stuff, and I was like, okay. It got so bad that it was just like, I want to marry you. So I was like.
He said he wasn't married?
Mm-hmm. I was like, I want to get married. But he said, but I don't want to be your brother no more. I see you this. Also have a receipt for that. You know.
Uh-huh.
I'm saying these things, y'all, because I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I always have somebody with me.
Mm-hmm.
As a witness. So that went on. And then it was the words that you were using. And then it was like, you too saved. You Mother Teresa.
He said that to you?
Mm-hmm. And y'all.
And this is the one you helped decorate?
Mm-mm. Okay. Not that one. This is somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Remember I told you it was 2 people from the making.
Oh, side. Yeah.
And said those things to me. When I said, I was so like, what? And just like trying to make it like it was going to be something. And it was something still saying, mm-mm. It's something there, and you remember, I always put it on the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll come back and visit it on the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wasn't getting it. So do know this. There's a difference between your emotion and what's spiritual. We have to discern. And ladies, they're out there, whether we want to admit it or not. There are men that go around and prey on women.
Mm-hmm.
They pray. And so this particular person called me in the middle of the night and asked me, was I broke? And I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
What? And he said, are you broke? And I was like, why are you asking me this? And this time of morning when you was asleep. And I was like, then it was like, send me such and such. So I got this check.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't know. I looked at my daughter, I told her, and she was like, you sure? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So I signed it because you know my brother, and I like you. Something that said because my stuff ain't hit the bank and blah blah blah. Right then, I checked him, and he was cussing on the phone. I said, "Whoa, we ain't doing that."
He was trying to get you to give him money.
And said blah blah blah. So I signed it. I have never, hear me good, never gave nobody money, not no man, but my husband, at the time. And I said, okay, and I said, son alone. Well, it ain't hit my bank. And I was like, but you said that you got stuff overseas, you running this overseas. Now, something ain't adding up. So anyway, that came to a non-involved, but then he knew the desire of my heart wanted to be married. And God showed me something that it shook me to the core. Said, leave it. Then I had a powerful woman of God call me and share the dream. And it locked in another one, the one that I had. But the one that I had shook me so bad that I said, I ain't gonna never speak to you again. Because God ain't pleased with you. And I would tell him what God said. He was just like, you're a little peon. So what you say, I've been doing this for years. And I could see and call out numbers. And I could do all this and do that. And I was like, okay. And then I got another confirmation from my daughter. But the one God gave me, it shook me to where it was like cut ties. And I cut them ties. And I couldn't tell you today what it got going on. But I remember New Year's, I text everybody. And I text that particular one and said Happy New Year's. And there was nothing else. And my thing is this, is that I tell people, if you're not in it for God, find another outlet. Find you a job. Find you something, but don't get in here and play with souls. I'm not just talking about mine, but I thank God that He allowed me to sit and see. Remember now, He told me something. I allow you to sit among them.
Mm-hmm.
And you remember about the last church.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And that in itself.
Ooh, Jesus. Because, I don't know, I just kept feeling vexed or angry. And I was thinking that it was me. And, you know, I was pregnant then, too. I'm like, maybe it's the hormones. But it's something about these people that I just don't like. Or they had rubbed me wrong that whole day we went to the little ball, remember? And I'm like, what is wrong? Like, I didn't feel the same after being around them. And then even looking at them at the ball, I said I can't point it out, but something is off about him and his leadership. And then these people that, you know, his congregation, something is off. It's almost like they're asleep or like sheeple. Like, I can't explain it, but I think you know, so you get it. But is that the right thing?
Yeah.
Like, it was almost like they, I can't.
We have the form of it, but we have a form of godliness.
Yeah, like it was like they can't see what's going on with him.
Right. And to even go to that, it was a big outbreak. I didn't know who this person was because I don't hang around pastors. I don't. I'm telling you, I don't hang around and sit and do all this stuff because I just don't have the time for it.
Yeah.
And most of the time, like I said, one was inboxing me for lemonade. So that's my business.
Yeah, so she sells different flavors of lemonades. And as she was talking before she said it, I was like, Lord, I want to buy some. I should have had her to make some.
Yeah. And so I was doing that. So I'm about my entrepreneurship, trying to get that off the floor and doing that. And I'm telling you, thank God for the people that I'm telling you support me. I'm talking about black, whites, you name it. And whenever I set up, they're there. So I thank God for that part. But that last ministry, God always sent me there to help. I never try to. I'm not there to take members. That's just not me. Yeah. You know, that's. I'm gonna go with what can I do? What can I do to help? But when you mistreat the help, and I say, okay, God, this and that, I'm talking about not only help. I'm talking about financially too. And
this is where you redecorated.
And I had one apostle that came in my ear. And she said, this have you all on it. And she looked at me. She held my hand and she prayed with me. And because I was been wanting to walk and God said no. It ain't time. And it was to see, because see, sometimes God, and I tell people all the time, God used people. They don't even have to have a title on their name. But if He send a person there, be able to discern what they're there for. Because sometimes we'll slap God and it'll be God that's doing a thing. But we won't see that because we're so much, I'm the leader. But check this out. If you're going to be what God called you to be, you got to first be a servant.
That's true. And
the roles have switched. We have leaders now that want to become you serve me. When they're supposed to serve. That's what Jesus did.
Yes.
So I'm a servant. I serve. So every ministry that I've went through that God allowed me to go through life, I served. Down to cleaning bathrooms, down to scrubbing walls, down to help rebuilding. I come to do that. I don't want to be honest with you, I don't like to preach.
Mm-hmm.
But if I have to do it, I'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
Prophesying, in the last church I went to, he said, "Why are you running from the prophetic?" I was like, "Because these people out here pathetic."
Yeah.
He said, "Yeah, you've been doing this and this and this and this." And never told this man. My daughter was sitting there. And my daughter experienced everything I experienced. And I had my best friend that I fell out. And she don't know, and I'm going to go on record today. I was told by so many to leave her alone. So I stopped talking to her.
Mm-hmm.
I picked this up in the spirit about concerning her. And this and this and that. And I was crying though, telling God, but I want my best friend. That's my friend. But it was to pull me this way.
Mm-hmm.
See, God has seen you people that are there, like was that David and Jonathan?
Yes.
Saul's son.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Her and I had a friendship that was like this.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to go to Ohio. Went to Ohio and help take care of my sister, and God put me on a fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on that fast, and God started speaking, and God said, "Call her." I said, "Okay." I ain't talked to her in years. And I was angry because when I had surgery, I was like, "But you would never be friends." And, I was like, when her mom died and dad died, I was there. So I became feeling sorry for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So then I got angry and I started thinking about the stuff that nobody did this for me. I'm always there and I'm doing this for folks and I'm doing that and ain't nobody here for me. And then I started going into that role. And God said, "Call her." So I called her. She wouldn't pick up the phone.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, "Diz, reach out to her." My daughter reached out to her and she said, "Well, tell her no thank you. I don't want to rekindle nothing with her." I said, "Okay." Went downstairs. I got kind of teary-eyed a little bit. I said, "God, I did what you told me to do and wipe my hands of it." Get back to Savannah. She called my phone. I just looked at it. I was hurt. I didn't answer the phone.
Mm-hmm.
I wiped my hands of it.
Mm-hmm.
Went to bed. She called again. Because now I'm in my feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Hurt. And finally, we talked. And it was just like, oh my God. And we was able to share everything. And one night I went to bed. God woke me up and told me about 2 people.
Mm-hmm.
She was one of them. And the other person was one.
Mm-hmm.
And I texted them crying.
It's something bad.
It was good.
Oh, okay.
It was good about what God was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I cried and I cried. And I said, "God, I got my friend back."
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that they keep it 100 with me. And she said, in those times that we were out of contact, she said, "I was praying for you, friend. I was praying for you." Somebody had to. All that stuff. Now I'm going to church. Now I'm unctioned, pull to go.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go. Now I go back to Apostle Allen's church.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I step foot in there, the man of God, they would prophesy. And it's prophesy. And this is the man that told me back in 2000 or something that the marriage wasn't going to work.
Mm-hmm.
It came to pass. He told me some other things.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, what the heck? Everything. Started going to his church and then it was a hope. God stopped.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't get down there. It was on his prayer line. And he said, "Woman of God, this. And then the lines. Boop. So now I'm sitting there. My bestie, she says, "Friend, such going to be in in your area.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, I'm gonna go see him. I drive to Savannah now. He's gonna be in Statesboro.
Mhm.
And I said, I'm gonna go. I said, friend, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna make sure I go, and I'm gonna tell you such and such. She said, go. Okay. I said, now I'll call you. I don't go to Savannah.
Mhm.
Had to take care of some business down there in Savannah. The Savannah drove back and came to the service. He made it in time. But this time, I'm dressed with a hat on, a little cap, drip jeans, a little leather coat. Going in, I sit in the bag. And the guy said, hey. So, I got the thing now, so how he know who I am?
Mhm.
I'm so glad to see it. And I don't think he knew who I was at first. But he said, then he began to talk to everyone, prophesy, and all that stuff. I'm sitting there. Mind you, the word keep coming. Get to work now.
Mhm.
It's time. It's time. And it was people trying to pull me before my time. He said, it's time. You got to get to work, get to work. And I'm like, but this one here, at this church that night, and I knew prophetically I was supposed to be there.
Mhm.
I knew I was supposed to be there physically.
Mhm.
Because I made it there in time. Don't know where this church was located.
Mhm.
Didn't have the address. I have to call my friend in Valdosta and say, hey, friend, send me the address because I don't have it. She said, what? We on the phone now. She's talking to me all the way till I get there. So I get out, go in. He says what he says, and then call me out and said, this is what the Lord. Daughter, come on. You got to come forward. I'm like, so he said, now I was like, okay. So now I'm at home and I'm sharing with a friend. And I was like, oh God. Then my daughter just last gets a dream. Text message that long.
In her dream.
What God had told her, and she wrote it down. She got it and wrote it down. Everything that she wrote down was confirmed with what the man of God said and the one before that. So I tried to back away from ministry, y'all. I'm going to be honest. Because I got tired of just everything. I said, I'm tired. I said, here I am now, y'all. And we're in 2024. And I told God, I said, okay, let's go. Let's get it.
And that's where you
I'll
are.
be that. And that's where I'm at now. I'm going to do what he say do. I'm a run it. I'm a run it. I'm a prophesy till I'm crazy, yeah.
I'm proud of you.
I'm a prophesy the house. And when I say this, I don't say this as being like, I'm saying that I'm confident, I'm good.
And you can't and you won't be stopped.
I won't be stopped. There are people that they'll see the gift in you and want you to dummy it down. They'll see the gift in you and want you to stop because you're for real. But you got to know who you are in him. Can't nobody tell you. But life itself, you know when you're chosen. I never told anybody that I was a prophet. Never. I'm sister so-and-so. And it took, I said, no, you're a prophet. And I remember standing in my hallway when I was in Savannah. And God told me, he said, you did not accept the call. I said, but I did. I said yes now. But that yes fear was in that yes. And here we go. And I have a preacher that's been reaching out to me and I would not call him back. I ain't call you. And God told me, say, in Christmas, he said, Merry Christmas, woman of God. I said, what? It's like, I think it was in 2021 when I last talked to him. And he said, and I said, Merry Christmas, man of God. Here it is, New Year's Eve, 2023. I'm going to go to church. I'm going to go to some other church. I don't know. I'm going to just go. And I went in and listen. I fought that night trying to go down. I said, well, Dad, y'all want to send me to the store? I'll go pick up y'all stuff y'all need. I'll go to about 10:45. I was trying to procrastinate. I went anyway. I pressed my way anyway. And I sat to the back. I stepped in. I sat down. I listened to the service. It was good. I was like, okay. And never told him I was there. I waited till 1 something. I texted him and his wife. I put his wife in there and I told him, I said, the service was great, so and so. And he said, why didn't you come up to me? But he didn't know it was a fight to go back in. And God started giving me stuff that was prophesied to me way back in 2015. He said, replay it. And I began to replay everything that God prophesied to me. And I'm walking in it right now today. And y'all, that's my truth. That's my story. That's Tonya. That's the naked me. I left a lot of things, some things out. But I want to encourage you guys that if God has called you, stay there. That's why life happens. I'm not in that same place that I once was. When I felt like I wanted to give up and kill myself, I couldn't because there was more. I said, if I leave this earth, I want to leave empty. I want to leave with everything that God has told me to do. Those who, it's times now that it's getting where the world is getting dark, but be that light, be that beacon of light. Still obey and do what God say. If you're fighting, I'm going to tell you, stop fighting. Don't fight. Because it's something else when you walk in disobedience. And I did that. I did it. I let the hurt. And I'm going to tell you, I want people to stop saying that, oh, y'all blaming the church for something. But the hurt is real. It did happen. We did have some mean and ugly people. It did happen. So let's not cancel out that. You can't cancel that. You can't cancel that. But I'll tell those, don't let it stop you. Don't let it stop you doing that. And I'm going to say this to the leaders now. If God called you a shepherd over a house, if he called you a leader over the house, be a servant first. And what you have to understand too, that if you have a ministry, people are going to come through your ministry. Some are not going to stay there. And you got to stop saying, and some are very gifted. Their gift might even be stronger than you, but you hold a certain thing that they need when they come through your ministry. Let them come on through and let them get what they need to get. And if God, let them go past, let them go. Everybody is not there to be, here we go, with Jesus and John. Jesus had to come through John. He said, you got to do this. Jesus, knowing that he was gifted and talented, but he said, John, you got to do this. You got to baptize. He didn't skip the process.
John didn't even want to.
But yeah, he didn't want to. But you said, this has to happen. And some of you pastors, you got to get some of these people that are coming through. And I don't care if you a storefront church. You be the best and authentic church, storefront church. If God, there's a reason he put you there. Stay with, obey God. There's sometimes we want mega churches when God didn't say mega. Because he's going to have his chosen ones to come through there. You got to groom that one that's chosen. And you got to let them freely go too when it's time. And you should, and the servant should always want the one that you train to be better. That's why Jesus even told the disciples, he said, greater works shall you do. Greater works, even greater. And we can't get to the greater because we trying to hold.
I don't think people believed him when he said that. I don't think people imagine themselves doing greater works than Jesus, but he's the one who said it.
But they lock it all, and let me tell you what's an awesome leader. An awesome leader is I'm going to teach you. And there might be some things that you might know greater than me. But when I know who I am, your gifts, everything about you won't intimidate me.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to pass the baton.
Mm-hmm.
We have to pass it. And I've told women that came across me all the time, I'm not your God. Because when you begin to do that, they'll seek you, then seek him.
Mm-hmm.
When they have problems, they'll seek you and won't seek him. And now we got people, now we're so caught up in the titles now. Be a servant first. I was groomed to be a servant.
Mm-hmm.
But I know I'm prophetic too. But when you know who you are and what God has said, make your foundation and your fruit is what's going to line up. I've seen people with a storefront church packed to the max because they say, I'm not going to compromise. I'm not doing it. And I'm going to tell you, I can go on record. Not now, man, the man in the church can say, I had her. I slept with her.
Period.
None. None.
Period.
None. So, character, your fruit is something else. Your fruit is something else. Your character is something else. If you feel like, hey, because we do have those high and low times where we just want to just give it up. I would sit down and I would take God, you got to take me on a hiatus or somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, you know when you messed up, there's still people. I prophesied this a long time ago. God told me to do it live. And I said, they're going to be people. They're going to still be working and don't even know they fired. They're going to still be working and not know that they are fired. And judgment now is going to hit the house of God now. And he said he was going to start. And people are saying, no, judgment ain't here. I know it is because he took me to the word. He took me to the word. And I saw it.
I know that that's real, what you said, because I was in the car probably like 2 days ago. And I remember somebody had did a message. I don't know when or where, but they said God is the only person that will fire you and let you keep working. And that was like 2 days ago. And I don't know why I kept hearing that being replayed. And as I was getting ready to turn to the neighborhood, and I was just thinking about that. And I don't know why that thought came up. And then you saying it now. And I don't know. I always think something that is for me, or I always like, yeah, like, you know, because maybe I got some more learning to do. So I always take everything as like, it's for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like what was that the thing? I'm thinking because I'm upset that it's me, but it's because I'm sensing something else or whatever. So I'm always thinking either it's me or maybe the problem is me or maybe the word is for me. I always
sounds so much like me.
Yeah, I'm thinking that it is me.
And what he's doing now, he's making us so, and we have to position ourselves. And I've said this before time and time again, that the world is fin to get dark. But those who are grounded and rooted in God, he's going to make a way for us. But if you can't hear him, and you don't, let me tell y'all something, because people try to make this thing hard, and it's not hard. When God begins to deal with me, I'll be in the car. I could be talking to such and such. And it's something about something to come over me and say, stop praying. Something over me, I'll just go into a tongue. I could be singing a regular song. And I'll go up in tongues. And I won't come out of it. I remember one time me and my daughter was watching TV. And I just went into a whole foot, fell on my knees and started praying. And she came and she put something over me. a blanket over me.
Mm-hmm.
And she just stood still. Being obedient to that, stopping what you're doing and take care of what God wants to take care of. Sometimes there'll be a song and it's a worship song and you don't even know why you're doing it. Go ahead and into it.
Mm-hmm.
Go on into worship. Because he's telling you something, he's dealing with you, but you got to be sensitive. And now we have to be very obedient when he say, go left, go left. Don't second guess what you hear. If he say go right, go right. If he say fast, fast. If you don't know how to fast, he'll teach you because your appetite will go.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you don't want nothing to eat. I called, I don't know if I called you. Last year, God had told me to call my family, call my loved ones and say, tell them to anoint their doors. Everything. Hear the word coming out now. Anoint your doorposts, because something coming. I don't say this to make anybody scared, but I say this. Hear God. Move by God. If you don't know God, tell God to send somebody, because I know he will. And I'm telling those ones that he has called and you're saying, I don't know if I'm called. I don't know if you chose me. You know you chosen. You know you chosen. Because he chastised those who he what?
Love. He don't even play with them. Like some stuff other people can get away. Those people that are chosen, they can't even get away with it.
And I tell people all the time, you ain't got to tell on me. Because I tell on myself. I've always been like that. I don't care whatever. Tonya tell on herself. And I want to say this too. I don't care what happened to you. I don't care if you've been raped, molested. You still have the power to change your story. If you still living, I know people is like, she don't understand, let it go. Yes, I have. Also been that too. But at that time he couldn't, I fought.
I'm so sorry you went through all of that.
He came in that room and tried it. And I fought him out for my cousin. She was on that side of her house. The other cousin was laying on the couch. It was my cousin boyfriend friend. And he acted like he was leaving. I had to went in the room and laid down. But the crazy thing is, I still had my shorts on. He came in there, he grabbed my mouth. He was choking me. But I was kicking. And it wouldn't let up. It was like a strength came from out of nowhere. So what he did, when my other cousin went, he left but didn't lock the door. Came back in. He came in there and grabbed, put his hand. But that never went. And I fought him off. I cried when I got back to Savannah because I told the guy that I was talking to. I was telling him about it. And then I finally told my cousin. And I know about the touching thing. I was touched too by a family member. Female. And when I got with my cousin that I was tight with, couldn't find out, she knew. She was like, Little girl locked up in a room where my grandmama had me and my older sister to go to this man's house named Uncle Jesse. This girlfriend locked us up in the bathroom, wouldn't let us out. Till my grandma got off work, but my cousin and them so happened to come over there, they had to let us go.
So they had you locked up
in the bathroom
until your grandma got off work. Were they out there using drugs?
I don't know what it was because I was young, but I remember it.
And that was the same person
that was in Miami
that molested you.
This was a man that my grandma let him watch us. But I believe it's the girlfriend, because I remember looking up under the door and saying, let us out, and trying to breathe under the door.
Was y'all not crying the whole time?
I mean, we cried a little bit and we shook the door. But I want to say it was the woman, the girlfriend that put us in there.
Mm-hmm.
But somehow our cousin came over and they got us some kind of way. But I'm here to tell y'all that he did it for me. And I'm telling you, he did it for me. It didn't make me want women. It didn't want me to. I just felt like he sheltered me through all of that. So I'm telling you, who all has been there, don't inflict that pain. You know how it was when you went through it. So why inflict somebody else?
Mm-hmm.
I could have went that route, but I did.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm telling you, you don't have to do that. You don't have to go there. It's you. And I'm looking in this camera. Let it go. Get healed today. Your healing is here today. You don't have to worry about that anymore. But Tonya, why did God allow it to happen? Bad things happen to good people. It's a world we living in. People are crazy. People do. We got Satanists on the loose too.
Mm-hmm.
But we still have the power to change the narrative. That's all I have to say.
Well, thank you all for tuning in, and we just would like to say thank you for sharing everything with the viewers, and thank you for your vulnerability. Thank you for sharing stuff that people nowadays, some people just are not going to be that honest and that open. But I know that whoever sees the video is going to resonate with them. And we just praise God for you and your testimony. And I'm shocked and blown away. But it's just to see how God covered you through all of that. I didn't even know. I didn't. So again, thank you so much for sharing all of that.
God bless you guys. And
where can the people find you?
Y'all can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook. And I will be back on, going live, dropping nuggets. I'm not going to get on and disappear, but I had to come off just to hear what God is saying. And really, really, really hear him. And stick with the matter. Don't care, by the looks on their faces, who don't like it, who don't, whatever. I'll tell you in a minute. I ain't scared of y'all. But I had to go back and I really wanted to say, what is it? What is it, God, that I'm here for? What is it? And it don't matter who they are, the looks on their face. Do what God say do, and don't stop. Don't stop. So y'all haven't seen the last of me. So I'm just excited. So this had to be done. God told me I was fearful at first. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh no, I'll do it. I said, I'll wait till I push that baby, and we'll go from there. And I kept putting it off, and then my daughter looked at me and she said, are you afraid? I said, yeah, because there's some stuff I'm going to have to tell.
Mm-hmm. And then I just kept thinking about it when she told me about it. I didn't know where we was going to do it, but I just was like, when you told me that this was for you to do, but I just kept thinking about it. And I was like, you know what? I don't want her to feel like I'm being pushy. No. So I'm going to just keep showing her sending her messages.
And she did. And I thank God.
Because I was like, I didn't want you to feel like I'm being pushy.
No.
But like, you can be pushing somebody so much and then you aggravate them or push them over the edge. Mm-mm. But I was like, I'm going to send her this one little last thing. And then I think when I called you. Mm-hmm. Yes, I was led to call you that night.
And I text her and I said, God said for you to interview you. And she was like, okay. So I knew it was. And then I knew when that spirit of fear kept saying, oh, I'm nervous. I'm nervous. And she, did you do this? Did you? And I need that.
Okay.
So keep doing
it. So I wasn't aggravating.
No. He said 2024, you going to get off your fanny time and you going to do it and you going to run with it. You going to complete. And when I was at the house, I thought about what is it? The what that had their lamps.
Oh, was it the 10 virgins?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And one came unprepared. He said, stop waiting at the last minute. Because the groom going to come and you going to be trying to get your stuff to borrow. Get up. Tend to your business. Tend to what I've called you to do. Tend to the things that I've told you to do. Not only in ministry, with your business, with things that God has told us to do, we got to get up and do it. Not waiting, I'm going to come back to it. And he showed me last night. As soon as he started speaking, I said, go ahead and do this. Go ahead and do that. Mm-hmm. And we said 2 o'clock. Mm-hmm. And guess what time I ended up? And he was like, because I forgot it was MLK Day. So I was like, oh, I said, because we were doing it for what, 2:30?
Yep, and you got here at 2 o'clock.
Let's go.
Before time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So.
And we had everything set up and everything.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you. So, y'all look to see more of us. I just got to give honor to God because she made it so comfortable for me.
Thank you.
Very comfortable because I was like, I'm nervous and I'm telling her husband, I said, I'm nervous. And she was like, why? So I hope I didn't bore some of y'all, but some things I'm hearing him say, tell him this, tell him that. But let God be God in your life. Have your foundation laid. That whatever come, it won't blow it. It won't be sand. Have a firm foundation. I'm telling y'all. So, this is my story. I'm sticking to it. I always say if you got offended, if somebody got offended that
Facts are facts.
Yes. So I just wanted to say that and continue to encourage yourself. There are going to be some people that God's going to place in your life that that's going to cause you to be pushed. They're going to cause you to and they're going to connect with you. They're going to connect with you, and don't push them away. Because we're big on, well, this is the way I think it should go. God have a whole different route. And prayerfully, I'm getting ready to do some, I don't like to call them conferences, but I like to call them the real deal talk. The stuff that people won't talk about. I believe in the deliverance ministry. I believe in people being delivered. I believe in the Holy Ghost coming and having his way. I believe in people talking, and talking also bring healing. Mm-hmm. Because there's a lot of hurt people in ministry as well. And they're still working off of this. And I think a lot of leaders are grooming people that that's not their position. That's not what they're supposed to be doing. Some. On the fact that they were faithful to me, they were loyal to me. But God said, but did I call them? Mm. Did I call them to that office? Did I choose them for that office? So sometimes we'll put people up there and they're not ready, and God didn't call for them to be there. So we got to be honest with that. We can't go by, oh, well, he was loyal to me, he was that to me, and that's it. He's the guy. But then you put him up there or her up there, and then they fall. And they ain't falling like a little bit, they falling quickly. And then the next thing you know, they're dibbling and dabbling in some of everything. And then you cover that up because you placed them there. God didn't have anything to do with it. God already knew it was an issue. But we hide each other's sin. And that's what's coming. That's what's being revealed now. Exposure, but I'm going to tell y'all something. Exposure is good. because it will send you back to God for some. God is still, when I expose you, then people gonna know. But it's up to you while the exposure is being done. Are you gonna confess this thing, or are you gonna repent and change? Repent means change from what you've been doing. Stop what you're doing. And some of us, we love it. We like it. And guess what? And I don't care what nobody said. This is even in the natural. When our kids act up, we say, all right now, keep doing it. I'm going to tear you up.
Mm-hmm.
Something going to come behind this. Now I'm telling you, I'm forewarning you.
Mm-hmm.
So the warning them came and you still doing the same thing, and then you get punished for it. That's in the natural. It's already set up spiritual, because he said, all right, warning comes before
destruction.
So if he said turn from this, leave that alone, stop this, stop that, and I have to say these to the armor bearers and all of that. If you know that leader doing wrong, because some of them think they're beyond reproach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a grace thing too. But I got a beam in my eye. Mm-hmm. You got one in yours, but I got one in mine.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to get the one out your eye, but I got one in mine. We got to live by example. You got to do that. We have to do that. Y'all ain't around here checking y'all fruit. I'm checking fruit now. Mm-hmm. I've been checking fruit. If the fruit is rotten, I'm not saying I'm not eating from a rotten tree.
Oh, no, that's right.
When Jesus went up to the fig tree and what happened? And it didn't produce what it was supposed to produce.
He cursed it.
He cursed it. He didn't still eat from it. And just imagine, that fruit got maggots in it. Mm-hmm. Flies flying around it. You still gonna eat it?
Worms.
Worms.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna still eat from it? And some of us are making excuses when we know the truth. We know what's right. That's what God is telling us. Come back to what's right. Come back. And we got people thinking for us. We don't want to think. We know this is not right. But we'll go in there and try to clean it up and say, well, it's this is that. No, it's not. No, it's not. And we'll lie. And you're a part of it. Because you compromising now. You lukewarm. And what did you say you do?
He'll spit you out.
Let's get back to doing what's right. Let's get back to just doing what's right. Let's get back to discernment, everything. I'm not finna commit a crime and then cover it up. I see you committing a crime and saying, oh, I ain't seen nothing.
Mm-hmm.
No. And then I'm giving false witness to stuff. Was there and you saw the truth. And you wouldn't say what was right. You stayed there. Those are the things that God sees. Those are the things we're going to get in trouble for. Mm-hmm. When you had the opportunity to do what's right. You had the opportunity to change. My prayer now for those men that are going around and soliciting these women and you know that you don't want that woman. I'm talking about leadership. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about people that's in there and you won't get married because you don't want marriage. Mm-hmm. Because you want that role. And God telling you, stop. Stop playing with that woman. Stop playing with that man. Because you got the females that are doing it too.
Getting married just so they can be in a position and say they have a husband or a wife.
Mm-hmm. A lot of them. A lot of them. A lot of them. You know that man is battling with homosexuality, but because of who he is,
you take him on as a husband anyway.
Just to get the platform. I ain't doing it. This is not a good topic. People don't like it, but it's true. It's happening. And we want to ignore the facts. It is what it is. I don't care how gifted you are. It's wrong. Holiness is right. And a lot of people think it's deep. It's just being honest, telling the truth. And it's about turning, changing. It's some stuff I had to change. It was a time in my life where I was like, I don't know. But I'm going to tell you this and I'm going to leave it alone. People know when they do wrong. There's no such thing. I didn't know I was doing wrong. That's a lie. You know you finna get ready to do something before you do it. Because first of all, you're going to think about it. When you begin to think about robbing a store, you're going to think about it.
You're going to plan it out.
Come on.
See who's going to be the getaway. You're going to see which ski mask. Oh, that one too big. This one fit me just right.
And you have the opportunity to choose right or wrong. Am I going to rob it? If I rob it. I always tell my kids, before y'all do something, think about what the outcome going to be first. That part. So I leave you with that. God bless you guys. It's been fun.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you all at the next one.
Bye.